Tip number 20. I'm often asked, what numbers do I look at? So in this tip, we're going to talk about 3 daily numbers that we look at routinely. It could be 4, and it also would depend on who you are, which numbers that you would look at. So if you are the accounting person, you're probably going to look at closed out sales. If you're me, I'm going to look at what we sold. So what you sold and what you finished are 2 different things. But looking at the sold work is important to me because I have goals and targets. If I need to do 2 million in sales, then I have a daily number, and that daily number is $7,400 a day. And if we don't sell $7,400 a day, then we have no chance of finishing $7,400 a day, and we have no chance of hitting our goals and targets. And because of the way that I have put the business together, such that the margins and the pay plans and all kind of go together, if we don't hit our sales goals, then we're going to be in trouble. So sales is something that I look at daily. Now, I think I have to give you a caution too at the very same time, in that one day of poor sales is not a place to panic. I would even tell you 1 week of poor sales is probably not a place to panic. When you get a month of poor sales, now I'm panicking. Now, I'm not saying I'm not doing anything in the meantime, but I'm not going to go into a panic because I had one bad day of sales or even one bad week of sales. And I think sometimes the other thing we forget, like in February, I get a lot of complaints from customers about their sales, and then we look back and we say, wow, we're 10% above last February. It just happens that last February wasn't a great February. In fact, February's routinely are not as good as, say, July's in most places around the country. Although if you're in a place that's really, really hot like Phoenix or Palm Springs, California, then maybe your Julys suck and your Februarys are really great because it's nice and cool and you have a lot of the snowbirds there. So one of the reasons that I'm looking at daily numbers is to kind of keep my head in the game daily about the business. So the first number that we want to track is sales. Sales is number 1 to me, and that's because we have a goal, and we want to track it towards our goal and determine, are we hitting our goal? Are we coming close to our goal? And then we're not going to panic, but we do want to look at average repair order if our sales are down, and average repair order would be the second number that I would look at, because average repair order becomes a really important number. We call that ARO. And average repair order to me is, it tells me if my technicians are looking the cars over. It tells me if I'm bringing the right customers into my business. It tells me if we're holding our margins, probably. It tells me somewhat about our productivity, because if we have a higher average repair order, then we're more likely to have higher productivity. There are 5 things that create average repair order. I'm not going to go into depth, but I'll give you the 5 things because that's a hint that we gave earlier, or a tip that we did earlier. The first thing is marketing. If I'm bringing in discount customers, then I'm going to have a higher opportunity, meaning my techs should be finding more work on those cars, but I'm going to have a lower average repair order because these are not necessarily customers that are used to buying, routinely buying, and they're usually there for the discount, the discount job, the coupon, whatever it is that you're doing. The second thing that creates average repair order is the amount of new customers. If I do a great job inspecting the cars, I have customers that want to buy, and we sell a lot of stuff to the customer. The next time they come in, frankly, they won't need something, so I need about 30% of my business to be new customers. The third thing, and probably the most important thing that creates average repair order, is the inspection. Is my technician doing a good inspection on the vehicle and finding the things that we should be talking to the customer about? The fourth thing is our process for writing up the work order or estimating the job, and that's a 2-part process. The first part is for the technician. How does the technician write it up? Do they get the information to the service advisor? And the second part is, does the service advisor write everything up? So there's 2 parts. So how do we estimate the job? And then last but not least, are we able to build relationships with our customers in sales? So sales or selling is the fifth thing as far as average repair order. Now, average repair order is important to me because I'm spending money to market, bring these customers in, and I want to make sure we're doing our job correctly. So this is something that I look at routinely. And I'll tell you a brief story. In my shop back in 2005, we had a $768 average repair order. Now, this is a general repair shop. Our labor rate was fairly high. We were in Mountain View, California. It was about 3.1 hours per car, or about $768. I'm watching average repair order every day. One day I look, and at the end of the day, our average repair order is only $500, or about $250 less than it routinely is. Now, again, I told you don't worry about one day, so I didn't worry about one day. But the same thing happened on day two. I'm starting to get a little nervous here, and then again, the same thing happened on day three. So for 3 days in a row, we had $250 less per work order. We had about 13 cars a day. That's a little over $3,000 per day. We're $9,000 down in sales after 3 days. So I brought my service advisor in, and I said, hey, Tom, I want to talk to you. Is everything okay at home? Are you okay? And of course he said, yeah, everything's fine. What's up? And I said, well, our average repair order has dropped. He got rather defensive at that point, and I kind of calmed him down. I said, hey, no, I understand how hard it is to sell, and I understand that we can go through a period where we have some customers in that don't want to buy. But that means we really need to concentrate on average repair orders. So when you leave my office today, would you please spend a little extra time with the customers and really try to close out a few more sales. Miracle of miracles, when he left the office the next day, the average repair order actually went up to about $900, and it kind of stayed there for about a month and a half, and then it slowly brought its way down to about $768, which was our typical and normal average repair order. So the fact that I was paying attention to the number, the fact that I was looking at that number on a daily basis, allowed me to save our company $3,000 in sales per day. And when you think about it in terms of waiting till I get a profit and loss statement, not looking at it daily, but looking at it monthly, I could have went 30 days at $3,000 less per day, or $90,000 in sales, which would have equated to, at least probably $50,000 in gross profit that I didn't have to pay the bills and to put into the net profit. So average repair order is one of the numbers that I look at routinely every single day. The last number that I look at is productivity, because productivity is very important to me, because it doesn't matter how much I sell. If I sell, $25,000 worth of work, if we don't get it finished, if we don't get it produced, then two things happen. Number one, I don't have enough money to pay the bills, and number two, my cost actually goes up, because as productivity goes down, cost for producing the labor actually goes higher, and my margins decrease. So productivity was something that I looked at every day. In fact, I will tell you that I looked at productivity faster than every day. I looked at productivity all day long. We actually built a software program that would watch our productivity and some of the other key data for us, like sales, average repair order, comebacks, etc. And we monitored our shop, and it gave us as close to real-time information as we could have. So daily numbers that I would take a look at are sales, average repair order, and productivity. So that's what I look at per day. If you catch us on tip 21, then we'll talk about what we look at weekly. Tip 22, we will be talking about what we look at monthly, which is a much longer list. Thank you for your time. If you would like to send us a message, find us on Facebook. We are the Institute for Automotive Business Excellence. Have a great day.